Yeah, I just want to come on here real quick and just give some encouraging words, because I know that I'm not the only one that's going through life right now and distractions and things like that. But I just want to say, whatever you are going through, continue to count it all joy, because you are not going through this for yourself. You are going through this to benefit somebody else. So continue to keep your head up. Continue to go through. Continue to just know that you are where you're supposed to be for such a time as this. So as you're going through, just remember that you are called, you are chosen, you are set apart. And it may not feel like it, but you got to tell yourself, okay, I will win in the end. And I just got out of prayer, y'all. And as I was listening to God, He said, when you're going through, go through. That's the only way that we can make it out. If you continue to go through, and don't let quitting be an option. Quitting is not an option for you. It should not be an option. So when you're going through, tell yourself, I got this. I'm strong. I will get through it. I'm confident. I'm bold. I got this. See, that's the mindset we got to have, because we live in a society where they tell us, oh, well, give up. When it gets too hard, oh, you should do this. No. When I'm going through, when I got God on my side, that's who I'm going to stand on. When I feel like I want to give up, when people tell me, oh, you should just call it quits. No, I'm not going to call it quits. I'm not. I can't. I've come too far. You've come too far to give up now. Look back over your life and tell yourself, I got this. Look over everything that you've been through. Everything. From childhood. Every ounce of pain, you got to turn that into purpose. You got to tell yourself, I'm capable. I'm willing to get through this. I got to get through this, because it's not for me. It's for those that are connected to me. And you are called. When you're called, when you're set apart, we are going to embrace some hardship. We're going to embrace things that some people don't even have the strength to overcome. But since you overcame it, God knows that you're capable of doing it. So you got to say, I got this. That's the mindset we got to have, y'all. That's the mindset you got to have. So smile in the midst of adversity. Yeah, you want to cry. It's okay to cry. Cry, let it out. But let it only be for one night. Pick your head up. The trouble won't last always. And as I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself as well, because I didn't have anybody to tell me this. I didn't. But you got it. You got it. So look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am strong. I am capable. I am bold. I will make it through. See, when you're able to change your mindset in the midst of the storm, that's when you'll be able to see a different outcome. But it all depends on how you see life. How you view your life is what you will receive in your life. I'm telling y'all, this is life. This is the real world we're talking about. Nobody want to talk about this stuff. But I'm going to break it down to you, because I didn't have nobody to break it down to me like this. You're not alone. You feel like you want to break some tables, you want to break some stuff. I don't care what you're going through. You better keep your head up. You better pick your head up. Pick your head up. You're going to be fine. You're going to be just fine. Count it all joy. Count it all joy, because it all matters. That pain that hurt you so bad, you went through it because you were strong enough to endure it. You went through it because you were bold enough. You're strong enough. And what did you do? You still here today. You still breathing. You got life. Another 24 hours that somebody wished they had. Somebody wished that they were in that position that you're in today. But you overcame it. You overcame every storm, every obstacle. So count it all joy. Pick your head up. Stop looking to your left and your right. Asking yourself, how did they do it? Why I can't do it? You can do it. Your struggle is just different from theirs. And you still got life. So just remember, you are where you are for such a time as this. You got it. You got it. So, I just wanted to stop in and just drop this word, y'all, because it was on my heart so heavy. Because, like I said, I've been going through some things. Hey, I wanted to just stop in and just tell you that you got it. You got it. You got this. This battle, it don't belong to you. It don't. It's already won. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, I've been through a season where I had to sleep in my car. I didn't know how. I didn't know when. I didn't know none of that. But God made a way. God made a way. When I was in the midst of the storm, I'm crying. I'm like, Lord, how is this going to happen? What am I going to do? He said, tomorrow, do you trust me? I said, yeah, Lord, I trust you. Yeah, it was my birthday. I stepped in the car on my birthday. I ain't even enjoy it. I'm like, Lord, you said you was going to make a way. Yeah, I'm like, okay, how is this going to happen? What is the next for me? I ain't had no money. In my job, I wasn't in the state. I was moved to a whole nother state. And later on, God told me I wasn't even supposed to be there. He says, you made your own self-help. You made your own self homeless. I'm like, okay. But in the midst of the storm, yeah, I couldn't tell nobody. He told me not to say nothing to nobody. People were coming up against me. I'm talking about, like, oh, you will never amount to anything. I'm like, I ain't never heard that before. But I got to see people's true colors when that time came. So when you're going through the storm, continue to go through. Go through it. Be strong. Be bold. Be confident. Tell yourself, okay, I am here for a reason. Somebody needs this. Somebody is going through this right now. I'm telling you, I cried many nights. I was sleeping in the back of a hotel building. They started to put notices on my car. I'm waking up to police knocking on my windows. I'm telling y'all, it's real. It's real. But I was still calling on the name of the Lord. I'm like, okay, Lord, I need you. I need you right here. I need you in this area. Y'all, and you know Orlando is hot. Y'all know that Florida heat ain't no joke. So that's where I was. I was in Florida. It started to get cold. And it was freezing cold. Yeah, I had me and my dog. My stuff was in the back of my car. Just packed up. I couldn't barely even see out my window. I had to look on my left and right to get myself to that destination. But guess what? God still made a way. God still made a way. So when you're going through, continue to go through. It's not going to last always. It's only for a season. And we don't know how long a season is. But you just got to tell yourself, I got this. Count it all joy. I'm telling you, I was mad at God. I didn't want to talk to him. I'm like, Lord, why did you put me in this situation? I was upset. We all have our moments where we upset with him, where we don't want to talk to him. But guess what? You got to tell yourself, Lord, I know you got my back. I know you protected me. I know you are. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, it was times I was waking up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning every night. I think it was like 3:33 every day, every night, in the morning, in the morning, in the morning. And I'm like, okay, Lord, what is this? And when I wake up, God will say, pray. And I would pray before I went to sleep. And it was sometimes I didn't even want to open my word. I was mad. I was that mad, y'all. I didn't want to open my word. I didn't want to talk to him. I was frustrated. But he's still protecting me. He's still protecting me. So when you're going through, when it feels like all eyes are against you, you got to tell yourself, okay, Lord, I trust you. You got my back. You got my back. See, when people rise up against you, because I had people coming up against me because they said I believed in God too much. I'm like, okay, well, what does that have to do with you? They didn't want to hear it. They didn't have an answer for it. So when people come up against you, when you're called and you're chosen, allow them to do so. Allow them to do so, because they're going to talk about you. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to do whatever they can to get you discouraged. But you better not give up. You better not throw in the towel. Because one thing I realized, when I was ready to throw in the towel, God threw it right back. He threw it right back at me. Because you are closer than what you think you are. You are much closer than what it may seem. Because when you're going through a storm, let me just say this. Because when you're going through a storm, you're going through it because you're closer to it in the spiritual realm. Something is getting ready to locate you when you're going through that storm. So you got to say, okay, Lord, I trust you. I trust your plan. I trust your will, and I trust your way. I may not see it, and I don't like what I'm seeing right now, but I know that something is getting ready to locate me. So when you throwing in the towel, this is another thing that God told me. When you throw in the towel, you release what he wants to release from the heavens. It's going back to the spiritual realm. It's you released it. You sent it back. So you gotta tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna go all in. I'm going all in. Lord, if you want me to if you want to give it to me, you can give it to me. But if not, okay, that's fine too. Because I'm still gonna hold on. I'm still gonna be strong. I'm still gonna count it all joy in the midst of. So you got to ask yourself, whose report will I believe? Because in the midst of you going through, the enemy is going to send you lies. He's going to send you conversations. And one thing about God, he will allow you to hear conversations that people say, and allow you to hear things that people say to you and about you. Heaven has ears. They have ears. So you decide who you will listen to. Would you listen to what the people are saying? Or would you listen to what God has prepared over your life? What he has already spoken over your life? You have that decision. You make that choice. You make it. What would you do? Because people going to talk about you to the day you die. It ain't nothing that you can do about it. But you got to prove yourself wrong on a daily basis. You got to wake up and tell yourself, I am a better... Y'all, I'm telling y'all because this is from experience. I wasn't always like this. I would let the words of people get me down. I was always seeking validation from other people. They mattered to me. Their words mattered to me than my own words. I started to believe it. And when I started to believe it, I started to see things on my life. My life was stuck. My life was stagnant because of the opinions of other people. So you got to watch who you allow to speak over your life. Because it's real. They say, oh, I just want the best for you. I got pure intentions. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't want to see me succeed. You don't want the best for me. It's sometimes you got to find out the hard way. But you got to tell yourself, in the midst of, I'm going to go through. When I feel like I want to give up, I'm going to go through. Because I have a nation that is connected to my name. You have a nation that is connected to your name. You have people that are connected to your journey. You're not going through this for you. And once you see that, you realize that, you will see life from a different perspective. Everything you do, it matters. Because everything on this journey with God, see, a walk with God is an adventure. It is an adventure. So keep going. Keep going. And count it all joy. Count it all joy. Because at the end of the day, when that season of trouble is over, you shall receive your reward. You shall receive it. But you got to believe it. It all starts with the mindset. See, you got to be willing to shift your mindset. You can't walk with God with a scarcity mindset. That's one thing he don't like. You can't come to him like, oh, Lord, I wish I had that. No. Lord, you said in your word that you wish that above all things that I may prosper. And I'm bringing my request unto you because I know that you will do it. See, that's the mindset we got to have. That's the boldness you got to have. You can't walk with scarcity. You can't talk to God with a scarcity mindset. And when you're walking with God and when you're talking with God, number one thing is to bring him back his word. Get him back his word. That's what he wants. Yeah, I know that you trust me. But to top it off, I want you to add my word to it. I want you to add faith. Walk in faith. I'm telling y'all, I've been living with a family member. God told me after I left Orlando, he said, I want you to go back. And when you go back, I want you to go back with humbleness. I don't want you to go back puffed up. I don't want you to go back with your head down. I said, okay, Lord, where am I going? He said, just get there. I said, okay. But at the time, I didn't know y'all. He just told me to go back to North Carolina. He said, if you knew what I got for you and if you want what I got for you, you will go back. I'm like, okay, mind you, I'm still confused. I'm like, all right, Lord, where am I going? I don't know. You're not telling me to go nowhere. So I ended up going to a gas station. I got to North Carolina and I stopped in Concord. I was at the gas station and I was confused. I sat there for like an hour or two and I was just seeking the Lord, like, Lord, what do you want me to do? And he told me where to go eventually. So I went to that place and when I got there, it was all good. It was all good. The person was happy to see me, but eventually they started to get irritated. So I'm like, okay, God, like, I know I'm wearing out my welcome. Like, what do I do? He said, just hold on. I'm like, okay. How much more do I need to hold on? He said, I'll tell you when. So, y'all, I'm still there to this day. It's uncomfortable. But God will make a way. God will make a way. So just remember to count it all joy. Count it all joy. I'm telling you, you're going to have to embrace some dark seasons. Some lonely nights. I'm telling you, I cried multiple nights. I cried many nights trying to keep my head up. But it's hard. It's hard. But you got to tell yourself you will get through it. You will get through it. When I was telling people where I was when I was in Orlando, they was like, oh, why would you do that? Oh, you trust God too much. Why am I not supposed to? See, when you're going against the grain, you got to be willing to do something different in order for you to get to a place that you never experienced. So you got to be okay with that. I'm telling y'all, I cried. I cried my eyes out so I couldn't cry no more. And I just kept hearing conversations. God will allow me to hear conversations that people were having, waking me up out my sleep, y'all, just so I can hear a conversation. People wishing bad on me. See, this is why we got to be careful what we say about other people, because we don't know that those are curses. When you cussing somebody out, think about what you just said. I cursed them out. You put a curse on that person. It's not so much about the curse words that you use, but you use a curse to keep that person stagnant, to keep that person stuck. So you got to be careful what you say and how you say it. So be careful with your words. They matter. They matter. You matter as well. I'm telling y'all, I've been around witchcraft. I've been around all that stuff. People been putting curses on me, and I didn't even know. And it was some of the ones that was closest to me, because one thing about the enemy, he don't use one of your friends. He used your family members. He used the closest ones to you. I'm telling y'all, this is real. This is life. And don't nobody want to talk about this. They were speaking pretty much death upon me. I'm telling y'all, this is a journey. You got to ask yourself, are you willing to walk it? I almost had my life taken from me twice. From an enemy trying to take me out. A witch trying to take me out. So you got to be careful, y'all. Please. This is nothing that you want to play with. You got to ask yourself, am I willing to go on this journey? When you give God a yes, that's a strong commitment. And I commend you. I commend you. It ain't easy, but it ain't hard either. It ain't hard either. You just got to tell yourself, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. I really had to get to a point where I said, okay, Lord, I'm ready to go on this journey with you. Because I always knew God. I always had a relationship with God. It was times where I fell off. But when it was time for me to get back into that relationship with him, knowing that it was time for me to take my life to another level. I remember I had just got out of a situationship. I was dealing with a guy, and, it was never a relationship. See, I'm gonna be real with y'all, okay? It was never a relationship. It was just a soul tie. And when it came time for me to break that soul tie, I had an ebook from one of my coaches, and he sent it to my email. So I had put it up on my laptop. So I'm sitting on my bed, and I went to go read the ebook. But it was a prayer that was in the ebook. And when I read it out loud, I felt the spirits leaving my body. It was to a point where I had to take a deep breath. And all this up here, it was like I froze. But I was scared. So my heart was beating fast. I seen them coming out of my mouth when I was exhaling. So when I did that, I opened up my word. I said amen. I closed the prayer. I opened up my words. My light started flickering in my room. So when my light started flickering, I'm like, okay, God, what is this? And he said, do you trust me? I said, yeah, Lord, I trust you. And that night, I cut off my light and I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning. I woke up with my word again. I woke up reading my word, and that's when I said, okay, it's go time. It's go time. Now that I know that I'm released from the soul tie, now that I know I have the power to overcome a soul tie, and all these other things that were attached to it, it's go time. I'm ready to go. So this is why I said that, to say, you did not go through what you went through for no reason. I don't care what it was. It could have been early childbirth. It could have been you being a mom at a young age. I don't care what it is. You could have been, I don't know. Whatever you've been through, you can turn that into a book. You can turn that into a course. I'm telling you, I was out here broke, busting, and disgusted. Physically, mentally, and emotionally. I didn't know what I want to do with my life. Yeah, I was working a 9-to-5 job, working 40 hours, making $200 a week. And I'm like, Lord, what is this? Why am I here? He said, you're not going to be here for long. Then a month later, he told me to put my 2 weeks notice in. That's when I put in my 2 weeks notice, and that's when the journey took off. But you got to tell yourself, you didn't go through this just to go through this. You got it. You got what it takes. Count it all joy, even when you don't want to. Stop looking around you and look within. See, you're looking for happiness, but God wants to give you joy. Sorry, y'all. One thing about joy and happiness comes from the world, and joy comes from above. You choose what you want, and you will choose how you want to get it. And I'm going to leave that with y'all. But I just thank y'all for your time. I really do. I said I wasn't going to be on here long. But I just wanted to say that. Count it all joy because it matters. And you matter as well. So keep your head up. Be strong. Be diligent. Be bold. And be confident. And just know that you got this. And I'm rooting for you wholeheartedly. I don't just say that just to say that. Like I said, I wish I had somebody to tell me these words, and I didn't. But I'm rooting for you. And you got it. So keep your head up. But that's all I got for y'all. Bye, y'all. How I get out of here?